Here are 5 types of digital marketing strategy that are working right now for Exposure Ninja clients and our portfolio companies. So copy the one that's right for you or request a free marketing review if you just want us to tell you which one to do. First up, let's talk about a cross-pollination strategy. So many marketers think of their different digital marketing channels in silos. For example, here's our website. What we're doing with SEO sits just here and relates to the website. Email marketing, oh, that sits over here. PPC, well, if it's on Google, it sits here. If it's on Meta, it sits over here though. The trouble with this is that there's no shared learning. Every silo operates independently and ends up overlapping a bunch of work. Worse still though, this feels really disjointed to the customer because the customer doesn't view your brand as a brand with different marketing channels. They just view your brand as a brand. They expect to see a coherent message between each of these channels. But with cross-pollination, it doesn't have to be like this. When we're working with a client, we try not to let things exist in silos. Here's how it works. Let's say one of our finance clients says to us, okay, our priority for the next year is we want to target this particular product to this certain target audience. We say, great, let's build a landing page for that service and that particular target audience. We can then optimize this to rank on search using SEO. We might build some informational pages which are more top of funnel but can feed relevant traffic in. We can then run pay-per-click, for example, search ads, driving more traffic to this landing page. Maybe there's an email form on this page. We can build a specific targeted sequence for that audience. And we can build a broadcast sequence that targets the business's existing email list to drive more traffic to this page. And if we had a pixel on this page, we could run a retargeting campaign to everyone who visits it to drive more traffic from Meta. And you can see how all of this comes from a central strategy. We don't start with a channel, we start with here's the plan, here's what we want to do to drive a business result. How do we use these channels to cross-pollinate, work together? All right, so you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that sounds like loads of work, Tim. Yes, of course, it's more work to run those channels, particularly if you don't have the expertise to run those channels in-house in a specialist way. But the thing about this is you get so much more leverage for the work that you do put in that it actually ends up becoming a faster way to grow. And the key is that you don't need to be everywhere all at once immediately. You can start with what you're doing now and just see how you can use your existing digital channels to feed into each other and support each other better. Let me show you an example from Zoe. So Zoe is a sort of healthcare / supplement / food business. They help people work out how their body responds to different foods and then they sell them stuff on the back end, right? Pretty simple. Now, what they've done is they've designed a content strategy which is based on a certain number of pillars. So we do this inside Exposure Ninja. We call them topic clusters, where we'll choose a certain topic which your business is going to become known for. It's then quite a bit of work to put together some initial research or to put together some initial content or assets around these pillars. But once you've done that, you can then use this across all of your different channels. Let's see how Zoe does it. So one of their pillars is about gut health, and we'll see that they've got lots of content on their website about gut health. For example here, which vegetables are best for keeping your gut healthy. But they also run ads on this topic, and they can target people who are interested in gut health. They know they're interested in gut health because they've seen gut health stuff on Zoe. So here's some of their display ads, for example. Now you'll notice that the original content was much more informational, but these ads are much more commercial. They're driving to a test. They're driving to a specific CTA. But of course, because they've done the research about gut health, they can also use that information in other ways. So they also have podcasts and videos all about gut health. They've got reels all about gut health. They've even packaged a bunch of their emails and recipes into this gut health guide, which you can sign up for. It's essentially an email newsletter, but it's packaged in a way more attractive way. Now it's a case of using that, cross-pollinating it across all of their different channels. So if you're in the mood for gut health content, you quickly build up the picture that Zoe is the place for you. And by the way, if you want to test this in a very low cost and simple way, stick around for the 5th strategy we'll look at today because it shows you exactly how to do that. You might be looking at this thinking, Tim, this seems like a lot of work. What if it doesn't work for my business because my business is different? Yes, your business is different. Every business is different. We do have something for you which can help you identify exactly what you should be doing with your digital marketing to get the results that you need over the next year. In fact, we will take a look at your business, your customers, your products and services, and your competitors, and we'll say, right, we think that this is what you need to do specifically over the next 12 months to hit your marketing goals. This service is completely free, but not everybody is eligible. So you do need to apply for it. Now, to apply for it, go to exposureninja.com/ exposure.com/review. That's exposureninja.com/review. We'll take a look at where your business is at the moment, and we'll map you out a plan to get to your marketing goals over the next 12 months, completely free of charge. Okay, the next strategy we're going to talk about today is an AI search first SEO strategy. The way search looks is changing, and the way that people search is also changing. Over the next 12 months, we're going to see continued change in this area, and I think we're going to see some businesses get left behind if they're not embracing this. Other businesses will thrive. We're going to look at an example in just a second. You will have seen more and more of these AI overviews at the top of Google search. Google is rolling these out in a fairly big way, and it's betting big on this being the future of search. Now, the downside of this is that just because you're ranking in the old search down here doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be ranking in the new search up here. Look here, the Telegraph has worked really hard to get this position 2 ranking for this keyword, but nowhere to be seen. Sometimes. So the name of the game here is getting your business featured in this AI overview and, where possible, actually recommended in the copy in this AI overview. Let me show you another brand that is absolutely killing it with AI overviews. I've searched here, what is different about high protein cereal? Asking for a friend. Now check this out. The traditional search result has this website at the top. This is a featured snippet, and it says, yes, they have some fiber and protein, but the added sugars cause a spike in blood sugar glucose levels that won't feel you satisfied. In other words, they're pretty down on high protein cereal. High protein cereal company Elite, though, has dominated the AI overviews, and they've dominated it to the extent that they've actually been able to influence the answer. High protein cereal is different from traditional cereal in that it contains more protein and is generally healthier. They've completely flipped the influence that this search result provides by ranking in the AI overviews. And look, they are dominant as the website that's providing the links in this section. So how do you do this for your business? We have other videos which are specifically about this topic, so you should go and check those out if you're super into that. But broadly speaking, here are the steps. Firstly, you need to work out which types of searches are bringing up these AI overviews. There's no better way to do this than just getting on Google and searching yourself. Now, even if some of your keywords aren't bringing AI overviews yet, that doesn't mean that they won't in the future, of course, because Google is expanding the number of searches that AI overviews show for. In particular, you'll notice that AI overviews at the moment tend to show up for more informational queries, like questions that you want an answer for. You don't tend to see them for commercial queries where you want a product or service recommended. I suspect that's probably because Google needs to test its ad offering. It doesn't want to give up those high value clicks to AI overviews when it doesn't have a good ad offering for this thing yet. So I expect we'll see Google testing ads in AI overviews more before we see it expanding out into commercial searches, but that's just me. Anyway, you've done your testing, you've observed which results are bringing up AI overviews. The next thing to do is to have a look at the types of content that is being linked. And in particular, you're looking at what format the content takes. So here we can see this is a blog post, and you're looking for the particular piece of copy that is being highlighted by the AI overview. That shows you what Google wants to reward in this AI overview. The next thing that you'll want to do is replicate this style in your content. So typically you'll find this means talking in very simple sentence structure. Typically you'll find it means including some sort of specific data that Google can pull through into the AI overviews. And usually if you want to be featured as one of the links that is open here by default, you'll want to corroborate the start of the AI overviews answer rather than the end. Usually the websites that are corroborating the end of the answer aren't featured when this panel opens. Optimizing your content isn't enough on its own. You also need to be ranking fairly prominently in search, so you need to do regular SEO to do that. There's a whole bunch more to ranking in AI overviews, which we've covered in specific videos, so I'm not going to go into more detail here, but this is going to be a big thing moving forward. A lot of traffic is going to be going to websites that are winning in AI overviews, and a lot of purchases are going to be made with businesses that are recommended in this section by the answers. All right, digital marketing strategy numero 3 is all about improving the value of the customers that your marketing is generating. And this stuff is most often used in direct to consumer and e-commerce. But if you're not in that space, I want to play a game with you for the next couple of minutes. Let's see how you could implement this stuff for your business, because I bet you that none of your competitors are doing this. Think about it. If you're an e-commerce business, by the time you get someone onto a product page and then into your checkout, you've done like 90% of the work, right? They've read reviews. They've compared you against competitors. They may have been seeing your ads for ages. They may have signed up for your email list. Eventually, their will is broken and they've decided to make a purchase from you. They've gone onto your website. They've found the right product for them. They've clicked add to cart. They're now in your checkout. That means they trust you. And that means this is the best time to cross-sell or upsell them. Let me show you a little examples. So Exposure Ninja recently bought our team houseplants for Wellness Week. We sent them everyone a houseplant because plants make you happy, right? Now, plant e-commerce store Beards and Daisies is a master of upselling and cross-selling. Let's have a play with their checkout process and see exactly what they're doing. First up, a moment of respect for the product category, unkillable. Let's say that we like the look of this Kentia palm. I'm clicking on this page. Now immediately I can upsell myself on a larger version. Love that. Bigger's always better, right? So I'm gonna go for the max one here. Now I need to upsell myself on a pot. Okay, let's go for that one. It shows me a mock-up. I like the look of it. Let's go. I'm gonna add my plant and my pot to my bag. Here we go. Let's go to my bag. Now I can opt to select my delivery date. Now they're gonna try and order bump me a root treatment for 99p. 99p? What's the point? That's pretty much pure profit. Are we done? Are we heck? What about a glass mister? Plant secateurs, potting soil. Didn't like that first glass mister? What about this one instead then? And I'm now allowed to go to the checkout. Now, I initially clicked on a product that was listed at £45. I'm up to £228. And to be honest, none of that felt super scammy because it's all stuff that's relevant to me. It's all stuff that I actually do kind of need. They're offering me stuff that I do need. Now, what I'm not saying is that they should have just upsold me on anything, right? If they started trying to pitch me on supplements or another plant of the same type, I'm probably going to be like, wait, hold on. But there's all stuff that's related to my order. And of course, it's discounted, so why not? Another brand that does a great job of this type of thing is supplement company Height. Now, supplements are notoriously competitive and can be very expensive to acquire each customer. So when you acquire that customer, you want to maximize the value of that person. So here's how Heights does it. They sell on subscription. So when I go to this product page, I'm offered a monthly plan. This offers me a discount of 20%. So subscribe and save 20%. Why not? Sounds great. Wait, a discount on what? Can you even buy this product individually? Of course, you can also upsell yourself into a bundle and save even more. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add to cart. Oh, look, more in-cart upsells. So my challenge to those who aren't e-commerce businesses watching, how do you apply this to your service? Because we've seen all sorts of businesses play with things like subscriptions, upsells, and cross-sells. I've seen plumbing companies sell via subscription. If they can do it, you can do it. I believe in you. All right, strategy number 4, video content strategy. Let's be honest, every platform is pushing video. We're seeing video in search results, Facebook and Instagram. So we've got Zuckerberg saying and prioritizing going all in on video for Facebook and Meta, putting so much budget behind promoting Reels and building out the algorithms to serve more tailored Reels. TikTok's popularity keeps going up. Who knows what's going to happen with the ban, but the popularity for now keeps on going up. Even LinkedIn is now prioritizing short form vertical videos. Your corporate virtue signaling can now be experienced in vertical format on video on LinkedIn. Yes, finally. You want some stats? Who doesn't want stats? YouTube, 2.7 billion uniques. Daily active users, 122 million. TikTok's got 30.8 million daily active users just on iOS. Another 15 million on Android. Some audience segments on TikTok watch TikToks for just under 90 minutes per day. I mean, that's about 13.7 working weeks a year spent on TikTok. Well, let their addiction be your business fuel. Are you being seen by them? Now I know what you're saying, Tim, TikTok's really not our audience. Your Honor, Exhibit A, ClickUp modestly claims to be the everything app for work. B2B SaaS. Surely they wouldn't be big on TikTok, right? Surely. Okay, 321,000 followers, but surely their videos aren't getting many views, right? Oh, okay, yeah, 20 million, 7 million, 3 million. Yeah, okay, on average, they're getting sort of 5 or 6 figures on their TikToks. Some of the characters from their TikTok are even making it out into the real world, and they get recognized and they make more content about this. Now, I'm not saying TikTok is right for your business. It might be, it might not be, but what I am saying is that video content is taking over. If you can find a way to do it, the connections that it builds with your audience can be huge. I had a meeting with a client this week and we were pitching for a piece of work, and I asked, are there any other agencies that are pitching? And they said, no, we just want you. I asked, okay, tell me more. We've watched all your videos. We know you. We think Exposure Ninja is great. We just want to work with you. By the way, they requested their free website and marketing review from exposureninja.com/review. But anyway, the point is you can build a really deep connection with people. And we're not talking tiny company here. We're talking huge brand. Now, we've got some clients that are doing video really well. One of them is longtime fave and friend of Exposure Ninja, Ron Henry, who we work with. We smash the SEO and content side of the business. Ron is absolutely dominating with video, doing a fantastic job and building a great connection with his audience. This is a fantastic way to decommoditize a potentially commoditizable product, in this case, lawn care supplies. But because Ron's audience know Ron and build a connection with him through the video, they want to buy from Ron. Now, video can be a bit of a longer term play. It can take some time to get there, but if you've got the time and energy to invest, then it can be well worth it. And by the way, Exposure Ninja doesn't have a video offering at the moment, but I am curious to see if there is any demand. If you'd be interested in working with Exposure Ninja on some video stuff, just drop me an email personally, tim@exposureninja.com, and tell me a bit about your business and what you'd like to do with video. And I'll be interested to see if we could help you in some way. All right, strategy 5 is audience segmentation. As digital has become more competitive and more brands put the majority of their marketing budget into digital, it gets really crowded. And when marketing is crowded, it can be difficult to cut through the noise, and it can be very expensive targeting a mass audience. This is true for businesses at all sizes, but particularly businesses at the smaller side of things where they have a limited budget, and businesses at the larger side of things where they have a really broad target audience but struggle to find messages that resonate with everybody. In these cases, it can make sense to pick certain audience segments and drive laser-focused messaging at them. Funny story, I was recently a client of Exposure Ninja for exactly this. So I invested in a construction business, and this construction business sells to a really heavily B2B audience. And the first thing I did when I invested in this business was give the business to the Exposure Ninja team and run our brand accelerator service. In the brand accelerator, Exposure Ninja basically strips the brand back to basics and says, okay, what are we selling? Who are we selling to? Let's segment out this audience. They also rebranded, they changed the name, they did a whole bunch of different stuff, but fundamentally it was the audience segmentation piece that proved to be one of the most useful aspects. And here's how it works. So what they did is they broke down our target audience from talking to us and potential customers into 6 different segments. They then researched these segments to give us things like age range, job title, location, and their particular goals and challenges that they face on a daily basis. The Exposure Ninja team even broke out their psychographic profile, helping us work out where their focuses were and where their priorities were between things like cost consciousness, sustainability, and innovation. This is really useful when you're designing copy or ads or messages or videos to resonate with this target audience. For example, with this persona, we know that we need to be focusing on the sustainability elements of our message rather than focusing on price. What this allows you to do is get so much more leverage with this audience. You can go right for the jugular. Now, just like the multi-channel strategy, this isn't about making loads of work for you at all. This is about getting more leverage for the work that you're already doing. I'm going to show you a great example. This is a mortgage company called Haystow, and broadly speaking, they sell mortgages for people who otherwise find it difficult to get mortgages. But they've broken that audience down. They've segmented that audience into different types. Let's take a look. So if you go to the mortgages tab, you'll see that they've segmented people who find it difficult to get a mortgage into people who have bad credit, people who are self-employed, people who are getting a remortgage, or other types of specialist mortgage. What they've then done is they've segmented this audience down even further. So if you've got bad credit and you need a mortgage, they've created pages targeting those who have faced bankruptcy or CCJs, or they have late payments, or they've used payday loans. These product or service pages aren't dramatically different to each other because, let's be honest, the process for getting a mortgage, whether you've got bad credit from bankruptcy or payday loans, is basically the same. But by offering these targeted pages, they're going to get a much higher conversion rate because this feels like the content has been written for that audience segment specifically. It feels like a direct match between audience and offering. But they've also created calculators for each of these different customer segments. So if you're self-employed, for example, you might know that it's really difficult to get a mortgage because a lot of lenders will just look at the salary you take from the business and not the dividends. But because they've segmented their audience like this, all of this content is hyper targeted. And of course, if they want to run follow-up ads, they know what category you sit in based on the pages that you visited on the site. Now, I'm not going to be critical. If they wanted to take this to another level, I would love to see an email sign up on this page somewhere, because then they could have a specific email follow-up sequence designed for people who are self-employed. At the moment, this calculator is just giving me an answer and then leaving me to do whatever I want. I would love to see them following up this. But hey, so what they need to do is go back to the first strategy and think about how they can cross-pollinate this great work using other channels. So there you have it. 5 powerful digital marketing strategies for 2025. We've looked at cross-pollination, getting ahead of AI-driven search, upselling, cross-selling subscriptions, video content strategy, and hyper-targeted customer segmentation. Remember, you don't need to do all of these at once. Just pick the one that makes the most sense for you. And of course, ask us if you need some help choosing the right plan for your business. And if you want to learn more about content repurposing, which is part of the first one that we looked at today, check out this video, which goes super in depth on exactly how to do that. Until next time, see you soon.